Alright, so I want to make a video on Boot Black Artist Palette cream polish alongside my existing text post. And there are more details on cost and Boot Black as a company on the text post. This video is mainly to show me using it. And my initial impression with the four colors that I have tested so far is that it's a high pigment, high wax content polish similar to Saphir MDO cream polish. And the product has a couple of unique features. One is water resistance, and usually when companies claim water resistance on a product that actually looks good, it's usually false. However, I became interested in trying out Artist Palette because Anders Sundstrom of Paul Brungard placed it in the highest tier in his tier list with, I believe, Gentleman's Gazette. And he also noted on the water resistance of the product. I can confirm that it does actually work and prevents water stains. And Anders believes that water resistance is like a core feature of cream polish, but for me, it's a nice bonus, but not an absolute necessity. Especially if you live in a rainy area, it's nice. And the other special feature, which I'll show here, is that out of the jar, you could take some polish and add a couple of thin layers on the toe and heel, and then you polish those layers with a cotton cloth and water, similar to wax polish. And I forgot to bring my jar of water here, so I'm trying to get water out of this broken sink. And you get like 2 drops or so. But some people also polish with a leather glove or just their hands and no water. I still think the cotton cloth with water looks the best. I can't comment on the leather glove because I've never tried it before. And the resulting shine is something in between cream polish and real wax polish. And you can accentuate this shine by brushing it with a goat hair brush. I'm not great with the goat hair brush yet. And ideally you would add a couple of drops to the goat hair brush before using it. There's actually a video by the parent company Columbus that shows you exactly how to do this. And you could technically do this with Saphir MDO polish if it's really old and dry. However, for Artist Palette, it's designed to be able to do this out of the jar. And for people who think wax polish is like cumbersome, but you want an additional shine sometimes, this is a nice product to have. In my experience, it's not as protective as actual wax polish, but it does look very nice. As for availability, for a long time, it was always a pain to get Boot Black stuff. You would have to get it from European sellers, mostly. But now they have a US site. It's called bootblackusa.com. I'm not associated with them, but that's how I got my Artist Palette. And their site is definitely not finished. I don't know if they noticed, but there's some unfinished parts of the site, but it's still usable. And maybe most importantly, like, who is this for? I would say the most interesting first group are minimalists. If you want to buy as few products as possible, you can get one horsehair brush, one artist palette in natural, which is the same thing as neutral for Saphir, any cotton cloth to wipe away excess polish, and then if you want to be responsible, you can get a liquid cleaner. I use Boot Black Too Faced Plus Lotion. And in this setup, you would use the brush to remove dusts, apply cream polish, knock off as much dust off your brush, and then you buff away the polish, wipe away excess polish with the cloth. And because there's no pigment in the natural version of this product, you can get away with just using one brush. There's also less white cast in Artist Palette Natural than Saphir MDO Neutral, which is like one of my favorite polish to use, which is nice. And if you want a higher shine, then you could add a few more layers in the toe cap and heel like I showed before. And not enough people talk about how good the clear color is for this for Artist Palette. Even in Japanese videos, like most people don't use this. Like sometimes in competition, people will use natural artist palette instead of a standalone conditioner. And the second group this is for is maybe patina artists. I can't personally vouch for this, but there are bespoke makers that use artist palette for their patinas. I still think Saphir and Phoebings are the most popular products to use, but if you want to try an alternative, I think it's worth to test out. And the third and maybe biggest group is if you enjoy using Saphir MDO cream polish, because this is the only product that I think falls in the same category of high pigment, high wax, small to moderate amount of strong conditioner with natural finish. I think it's definitely worth testing out. And the next group is another group I can't relate to, but if you own Cordovan shoes, Horween, which is the largest, I think still the most famous tannery, they recommend using Artist Palette for Cordovan. They even sell it on their site. And something nice that Bootblack USA does is that they label the corresponding Horween color, usually coded as like a number 2, number 4, number 6. And it's next to the color label on the Bootblack USA site on the Artist Palette page. If you want an exact color match for your shoe, I presume that in the future, as like Shinki Hikaku and the other Cordovan makers get more well known, they should probably add it to this as well. And in conclusion, if you are into shoe care, I highly recommend checking it out. There aren't many articles or videos showcasing it, and I was actually surprised at how few Japanese videos there were on this product. I think I've watched every single one of them so far, I'm pretty sure. There's probably one other psychopath who's also looking for these videos, like me, and hopefully this was somewhat helpful for you. Alright, thank you for listening to me ramble, and have a nice rest of your day.